Hey everybody, this is Tulip.
And this is Cassidy.
And I am wasting my life serving someone who cannot rule.
And we need to wrap this podcast up quick because Judas is meeting us with the getaway donkeys at midnight.
That was funny. So we are talking about Dirty Little Secret, episode 10, season 2, Preacher.
Yeah.
So let's just start right out with ratings. What did you think?
Ratings. There wasn't a lot of excitement, no like shooting or action sequences or anything like that in the show. But I gave it a solid 4.0 blueberry pancakes. Just because there was so much in the episode. I mean, we learned so much about Hair Star and, the descendant of Jesus, and we have that hilarious opening scene that's so controversial, and just a whole bunch of other stuff goes on that there was a lot in the episode to break down. So it wasn't funny, it wasn't actiony, but it was very definitely interesting.
I really liked it. I also gave it a 4 out of 5. I gave it a 4 circle jerk freaks out of 5. And I thought there was quite a bit of excitement, at least if you were Jesus or Humperdinck. And I also felt like the Million Moms got a little carried away. I didn't think it was really that offensive, but I kind of expected not to share their opinion. So
yeah, it was like, Kama Sutra projected on the wall. I mean, like it was made a way bigger deal than it was.
I mean, it was
and they
good.
had obviously never seen any other Preacher show, and they did not watch the rest of the show for Humperdinck, urinating on a priest. Yeah. So, well, they have since moved on to the Roseanne Barr show, the reboot of
reboot of Roseanne.
Yes, there's going to be a trans fluid character on the show. And, that's the new one that's got them all up in arms. So, yeah, we were big news for 15 minutes, and
man.
Then something dumber to get offended came along.
Well, they didn't succeed. Like I said before, I think that Preacher will unfortunately probably do itself in before the Million Moms do. So.
Right. But our numbers were a little better this week, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. Yeah. So we looked up numbers before we got on tonight. Dirty Little Secret is the episode. It premiered on August 21st. And it looks like same-day views were just slightly over 1 million. And Live Plus 7 was a little over 2 million.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad. Considering
I
the numbers we've been
we're
seeing.
Getting the same amount of kind of numbers, or even better, for than we are the Fear the Walking Dead series, which is supposed to piggyback a lot of its fame from The Walking Dead. So for Preacher being a standalone, crazy, wacky, offensive show, I think that's pretty solid.
So Fear gets in same day views about what Preacher has gotten in Live Plus 7. Which is fine. I mean, that's still respectable.
Right. So
Dirty Little Secret. Did you figure out where it came from?
Yes. Did you?
Yeah. So, and this has to do with our featured cast member this week.
Yeah.
So, it is from a song by the All American Rejects called Dirty Little Secret. And it's the song that Tulip and Jenny, aka Laura Featherstone, were playing in Guitar Hero.
Okay. Is that it?
Oh, well, I mean, I'm assuming that the baby and that the Messiah are the Dirty Little Secret, but...
So, I knew that I had recognized Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
So we will say yes. It has to do with the guy who played Jesus, and we'll say more about that in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So our writer was Mary Laws again. She wrote He Gone and she wrote Sakosha, and she's been the executive story editor for 12 episodes. So that's kind of her big thing. So the director was a person named Steph Green, and it was actually a woman. So writer and director were women this time. Take that, 1 million moms.
Yeah.
And Steph is from Ireland, and she's actually an Oscar-nominated director. She was nominated in 2009 for a short film for Best Short. But she's got some interesting credits. So she actually is directing a season of Luke Cage in season 2 of Luke Cage. She's got this Preacher credit. She's worked on the Bates Motel. She's worked on My Favorite Man in the High Castle. So she's done some interesting shit.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting stuff.
Yeah, Fear the Walking Dead used their one F word last episode. We can use our one swear word this episode.
I don't know if we get one swear word or not.
Yeah, she doesn't have a very long career. It looks like she just started in 2001. So she must be really good friends with somebody in the biz to have all the shot straight up and started directing episodes of Man in High Castle, Billions, American Gothic, Bates Motel, Scandal, The Americans, which looks really good. I need to start watching that too.
It does look really good.
Yeah.
I just, it's got. I know we always say it, but it's just one more
on
thing.
The list.
Yeah.
One more show on the list, one more book in the stack.
Oh my God. Tell me about the books in the stack.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, so moving on to our featured characters. So you know who it is then?
Yes.
Okay. So the actor is
Tyson Ritter.
And he is from
a band called the All American Rejects.
Which is the band that did the song.
My Dirty Little Secret.
And I thought that was super cool. I didn't realize that when I dove into him as the featured character, and it was a nice little meta moment.
Yeah.
So he played both Jesus and Humperdoo.
Humperdinck. Yeah, Humperdoo.
Right. Which is just awful. I mean, actually, not to steal Tyson Ritter's thunder, but for just a second, if I was a member of 1 Million Moms and I was going to be offended, I would be more offended by Humperdoo.
Yes.
Than I would be by the sex scene at the beginning of the show.
Exactly. I would be way more offended about the 25th grandson of God being what he is, or him being portrayed as what they are portraying him as, than I would be about shadow puppets, doing the Kama Sutra moves.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they got so offended just because Jesus was kind of portrayed as a dude, as a typical dude.
Well, in my understanding is that in the Bible, he pretty much goes from an infant to 30. I mean, there are some missing years there that, we don't. I'm sure he was just a regular guy with his bros, the apostles, and
his bros. I just think that's so funny. His bro-postles.
Bro-postles.
Yeah. Oh my God. Look, it's a new band, Matastrand and the Bro-postles.
Matastrand. Oh my goodness.
That's a little tease for our Fear the Walking Dead listeners.
And we've ordered our new truck, so the Cassidy plates are on their way.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I still have to get my tulip plates.
I thought you did.
I didn't. I haven't yet, but now I have to.
That's funny.
So back to Tyson Ritter. So he's the lead vocalist and the bassist of All American Rejects.
Right.
He's also a model and an actor.
Yes, he's actually been in quite a bit. I knew, and what's funny is I recognized him from his acting.
Did you?
And Yeah, because I don't see him performing All American Rejects. So, you listen to it, and so I recognized him from a little show that was short-lived called Betas.
Yeah, so tell me about that.
It was about a bunch of like millennials in the tech industry and just their kind of day-to-day lives.
Because it
So
looks like it was an Amazon original.
it was. It was. It didn't go very far. It was kind of funny, but I'm like a Gen Y on the cusp of the millennials, but because most of the people I know and hang out with, and I'm the youngest of 5, I grew up a little older than I am, so I don't identify with the millennials as much. And so it just, the show didn't resonate with me very much, but he has a really, really intense look.
Yeah, he's
And
got
so
a
I'm
pretty
like,
distinctive look.
yeah, and so I'm like, I know him from somewhere. So when I looked him up, I was like, oh, hey, look, he's got a lot of song credits in his IMDb page. And I was like, oh my goodness, All American Rejects. Dirty Little Secret. It's all clicking now. It's all coming together.
I thought that was a really awesome little tie-in. And speaking of little tie-ins and meta things, they mentioned Mark Harlock again.
Did they?
Yes.
Where did I miss that?
Well, we could talk about it in our
Okay.
in our
Rotting Potpourri.
yeah, well, whatever
Yeah.
our version of Rotting Potpourri is, right?
Our frankincense and myrrh.
I like that. I like that very much. That's good.
It's a really good Jesus. That's what was brought to him as a gift. So
That's
we're talking
right.
about Jesus.
That's right. So just a couple of things. So Tyson Ritter's debut film was an Anna Faris movie called House Bunny.
Funny.
Have
Yes.
you seen it?
Yes, it's adorable.
Oh my god.
It's dumb, but it's adorable.
I should have known that you've seen it.
Yes.
And then his debut television show, he actually debuted on House.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorite shows because House actually says all of the things that go through your head when you work in healthcare.
And there's actually a new show out by the creators of House, and it's called The Good Doctor. And for anybody who has ever watched The Bates Motel, the kid who plays the young Bates, what's his name? Norman. The young Norman Bates is actually playing a high functioning autistic surgeon.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah, and so like everything that flashes through his mind, all of the technical stuff and the books and everything, it's very A Beautiful Mind.
Oh, interesting.
And so of course his biggest blockade is he's, just really socially inept. He's a brilliant surgeon, but it's everyone else around him having to deal with, his disability as they see it.
The really funny thing is I used to work with a physician in the emergency setting who would go on and on and on about not wanting any human ties. And he was like extremely brainy, but very socially inept. And I finally said to him one night, have you ever considered that you might have Asperger's? And he kind of sat down and said, why, yes, as a matter of fact, I have.
Yeah. I mean, that's why they call it a spectrum. I mean, it doesn't mean you're, humperdew.
Right. Yeah. So actually, my godson has Asperger's and he is so brilliant, but so socially behind. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Hanging out with him.
Yep. And it's almost entirely individualized by the child. I mean, some of them, are complete savants with music or, art or, even sciences. And they don't fit into our regular cultural society.
Exactly.
I think that's more of our problem than it is theirs. But yeah, so it's a really good show. I think it just aired its first episode. I think we've only watched one. I think.
What channel is it on?
I think CBS.
All right. Well, guys, check it out. We will not be podcasting that, but check it out.
But if you like,
Oh, go ahead.
If you liked House, which was the first show that
Right.
that Tyson Ritter ever did, if you liked House, The Good Doctor is kind of it's by the same people. Seems like it's going to be really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. The only other thing that I wanted to say about him is that it looks like he just wrapped season 2 of Parenthood on or not MSNBC, on NBC. So he's got some recurring roles.
Yeah, it looks like he's coming up in a miniseries, Lewis and Clark.
Good for him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's always a really interesting story.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they play it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, should we talk about our gospel, our good news?
Sure.
What you got?
I really liked the revelation with Hair Star, because when he first goes to Jesse and he's like lays out the binders and everything, and I absolutely love that Jesse pulverized him with one of those damn binders. We're like, what is he doing? What is his end game? Jesse can order him to do he knows that Jesse can order him to do anything and he has to do it. Like, why? And then, towards the end, we figured out that Hair Star is just completely disillusioned with Grail Industries and, their Messiah and the churches, who was it? Something.
The Pope and the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Canterbury, yes. And, he's just like, he had worked his entire life. I mean, he had lived this and for that. And now he's reaching for something else, and of course, Jesse turns him down cold, but I don't think that's the end of it.
Oh, heck no. That is so not the end of it.
But I was really amazed at that, that direction turn with Hair Star that, I thought that he was like, he's the guy that goes in to kill people that have, miracles happening and things like that. So, but he's wanting Jesse to lead him. So I thought that took a really interesting turn and I really liked it. And I really liked, the whole interaction with him and Jesse. And every time he told Jesse no, I'm like, really? You're going to say no to Jesse?
I don't know that he wants Jesse to lead him. I think he thinks he's going to gain power through Jesse. Yes,
I do.
And I think it's going to turn into Jesse leading, but I don't think he realizes that, or I don't think that's what he wants,
Right, exactly. I just love the scene, and for some reason, when they were in the bar together, and Hair Star's threatening the bartender and talking to Jesse about, their religious holdings and their non-religious holdings and blah, blah, blah. He was like, he's like a Scooby-Doo villain. Like, if he says, I would have gotten away with it too if it weren't for you meddling kids, I was just going to lose it.
That's really funny. And I could see that. You're right. I mean, he actually looks way more comic booky than Jesse does. So comparing him to a Scooby-Doo villain is a good comparison.
Yeah, you're just going to like rip his mask off and it's going to be another character. It's it's going to be Dennis under there.
Oh God.
We'll get to Dennis.
Dennis. I love Dennis. Dennis is going to be a real problem. I love Dennis.
Yes. Dennis is in my notes. So what do you got?
Well, so I just really liked, I liked how menacing Tulip was with Jenny, aka Laura Featherstone. I didn't tell you a thing about Dallas. It was really great. She was really a little scary and a little badass, and she definitely got sucked in at the end. But I liked the way that she played it in this episode.
Tulip or Laura Featherstone? Okay.
No, I just thought Tulip was really great. She was, just feisty and tough and the Tulip that we love. And
is she buying it?
Is she buying Laura Featherstone?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you see the teaser for the next episode?
I did not.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
absolutely buying it.
I really want her to just be playing the long con,
I don't think she is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura Featherstone's like I said last time, she started out as I really didn't like her, and that now that she and Tulip have buddied up, and she's just so good at her job. She's so good at the role of playing, this meek and abused woman and everything, that I'm just like, yeah, like, I mean, even to the point to where they were playing Guitar Hero. And I'm like, I don't know. She can't be that bad at Guitar Hero. Like, she's one of those that's like type A. I'm good at everything I try,
Right.
So I'm like, she's got to just be playing into it. Yeah. That was interesting.
I enjoyed it. And we're definitely going to see more complicated stuff with her too, I think.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see if she sticks around for Hairstar's investment in Jesse.
Right.
It'll be interesting to see if she takes the side of the Grail.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
Is she going to follow Hairstar? Or is she going to follow the industry?
Yeah, I don't know. All right. Well, what was your Job?
So I had two minor ones, and they weren't anything like I don't like this. I don't like where this is going, or this really wouldn't happen this way. My bads were Tulip finally fixes the floor tiles and finds all of the Saints, his guns and his sword.
Right, and you saw that Laura and Hoover set her up for that.
Yes. And so my bad in it is that Mom and Dad are going to be fighting again.
Right.
I'm just like, oh, when he comes home from probably Rome or wherever the heck he is, maybe he's like in Israel. I don't know. Like he's definitely a couple plane rides away.
Yes.
And like an overnight train. And yeah, so when he comes home, there's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't even know. Like, I think if I were Tulip, I might just bail at that point. I might just like leave those sitting there and just be gone. Just ghost him.
I don't know. It doesn't look like that's what's going to happen, but I don't know.
Maybe she wants the story too. Maybe she wants the story of like, why did you keep these? Is he really dead? What's going on? But I think I might have just ghosted him.
Well, and didn't it seem like when she was dreaming that she was dreaming the cowboy underwater?
Yes.
I totally got that imagery from her dream.
Yeah. And like the screenshots that I sent you last episode.
Yeah.
I swear the cowboy, he like, it was haunting Jesse while he was sitting in the kitchen. Yeah. So my other minor bad, and it's a bad of, this is going to happen in the future. Something bad is going to come of this, was Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis. Somebody's probably going to have to kill Dennis.
So your bad is also one of my Jobs, which is, do you think Cassidy is going to have to put Dennis down?
Yes.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think he's going to realize that, forgive the pun, Dennis is a menace. And I think he's going to have to put his own kid down. And I think that's going to be really hard on him.
Yeah. I think Dennis was his blind spot. And when last episode or episode before, when Cassidy had talked to his friend, and his friend is like, basically, is he a candidate type thing, or do you think he wouldn't be able to handle it? And I think, being Cassidy's son, I think that he was a real blind spot, and Cassidy was like, sure, he can handle it, without really being objective, and, turning Dennis and having fun with your son and everything is all fine and dandy, but Dennis can obviously not handle being a vampire. And I don't think Cassidy's a great teacher about being a vampire.
Cassidy do you think he would be able to truly be objective with anybody? I mean, do you think he's a good judge of whether or not someone should be turned?
I think he could. I think there are times when he could definitely say no. But more often than not, I think somebody's going to hit him where it hurts, and he's going to do it like either out of mercy or out of, maybe I like if Tulip and Jesse were to ask, those are the best friends that Cassidy has, I don't think Jesse or Tulip should be turned, but I think Cassidy would, just to have his friends with him forever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think he's got a good heart about it, and that's probably why he shouldn't be doing it. He can't be objective.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah. So that was one of your bads also?
That was my Job, was that I just am really worried for Cass that he's going to end up having to put Dennis down.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, that last glimpse of Dennis at the end of the episode really, truly made me laugh out loud.
Yeah,
when he walked up with the blood and he was all smirky and like, hey. I enjoyed that very much.
And it's one of those where I don't think Cassidy can be a really good teacher. I think Cassidy is fun dad, not teacher dad.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I'm sure Cassidy, we were introduced to Cassidy, him taking out a whole bunch of guys who were hunting the vampire cabal.
Oh, that's right. It's kind of hard to forget how wicked he was in that first episode, because he's become such a comic relief.
Right, right. So it's not like Cassidy hasn't killed. I mean, granted, those guys were trying to kill him, but that's my point, is he needs to be teaching Dennis that there are these guys out there who might one day try and come and kill him, and it's okay to kill them and drink their blood,
Right.
Or, if you see a guy in the street with a knife to a woman's throat, trying to get her phone or something else.
Right, the blood
it's okay
of the
to kill him.
doer. Yeah.
Yeah, like
the whole Anne Rice ethic.
Yeah, start out with doing that, or either that, or, I think Cassidy could start his own cult, and women would donate blood to him because apparently he is so attractive.
He's all elbows and Adam's
apple. He's charming, damaged, and bony.
Just the way I like them.
And I do have to put it out there for the guys who are not all elbows and Adam's apples. Real men do have curves too. Not all of us like, kneecaps and elbows. So
I'm afraid someone like Cassidy might break.
Just have a pint of O positive ready for it. That'll be fine.
Well, so what was your revelation?
My revelation was towards the end when Hoover and Featherstone were sitting around watching Cassidy play Guitar Hero, and Tulip had dug up the weapons. Mm-hmm. And Featherstone really wants Tulip dead. She really does not like Tulip. And I didn't see that coming. I don't know why.
Did you catch what they said, though, about why the boss didn't want Tulip killed?
They want him just broken up.
Right. And
I wonder about that.
The weapons from the Saint, cluing Tulip in, making Tulip find those is...
Oh, yeah, that's a huge betrayal. But
that's totally what's going to get Jesse and Tulip to break up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But why does Featherstone hate Tulip? One would imagine that Tulip is a strong woman who can take care of herself, and Featherstone is the same. You'd think they'd be friends. Like, does she think she's competition? Does she not? Like, I don't understand the hate there.
I don't either.
Yeah, and so, the whole Featherstone wants her dead, but the industry wants them broken up. Like that I think hopefully we're going to learn more about that and why. So
I think it's because Tulip is Jesse's conscience, and is also Jesse's tie to being just a man versus the Messiah.
Oh,
So, I think that Hair Star is afraid that he would not be able to control Jesse as easily if Tulip was still in the picture.
very true. I could see that.
So that's what I'm thinking. And that was actually my revelation as well, is just the whole Tulip finding the guns and the sword, and then the comment between Featherstone and Hoover, this'll do it in terms of breaking them up.
Right. Right.
So we were definitely on the same page there.
Yeah. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to have that storyline unravel.
Yeah. Well, and now it's frankincense and myrrh. I think that's happily named.
You listen to the other shows, it's called Rotting Potpourri.
I was going to say, it smells so much nicer than rotting potpourri.
Oh, that's funny. I absolutely loved the plan to have Hoover come be Rodney.
Right.
And yeah, and how Featherstone got to kick the crap out of him.
She really enjoyed that.
Yeah, a little too much.
A little too much, yes.
He eases back into the chair groaning, and she's like, "You sound like a woman."
She truly is awful.
But in such a great way.
Right. Awful that you love to hate and hate to love.
If she could flip sides, she could be the most fun anti-hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that was funny too, and it was a good catch on their part to have him come in and play the role of Rodney so that they could fish things out with Tulip.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that layered over the whole, I didn't tell you about Dallas.
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped to, one, distract, and two, legitimize.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's totally the reason that they did it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, so I have a question about the opening scene. So this is all Da Vinci Code before there was a Da Vinci Code. So is that Mary Magdalene?
On my rewatch, I was like, who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Never did mention a name or anything. She was married, but I don't know who she was.
I don't either, and we'll never find out.
Yeah, we may never find out. Yeah.
And we know that Thaddeus is the first incarnation of the Grail, or Grail Industries.
Yes.
I meant to look him up to see if there was any Thaddeus character in the Bible, because I don't remember anyone named Thaddeus.
Okay, so Thaddeus was one of the 12 apostles.
Was he really?
He was, but he also has gone by the name of Lebbeus and Judas.
Okay, you totally looked that up.
I did.
That's amazing.
And
cool.
they have to when they refer to Thaddeus as Judas, they make sure to differentiate that he is not Judas
Iscariot.
Iscariot. Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, so he has 3 different names in the Bible, but it's the same guy, and Thaddeus is one of them, and he is one of the 12 apostles.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. He was one of the ones like Judas that abandoned Jesus during his trial and crucifixion. So, I mean, maybe he guessed raising Jesus' son is making up for that. I don't know.
Inbreeding Jesus's future generations.
Right? Like the royal family or a Maltese poodle.
Right. Just like a
Maltese
puppy,
puppy.
you have to expect that there will be problems.
I just love it. Like the royal family or a Maltese puppy. I think to Hair Star, they're one and the same.
They are one and the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. I absolutely loved the scene in Hairstar's office with the Archbishop and the Pope.
Oh, weren't they
And
great?
they're talking about what happened to God. And the Pope is all, no, he's going to create a more loving world. And they're going to be 10 feet tall and have the prowess of a lion and the flight of an eagle. And the olfactory senses of a honey badger. Like, oh my, who are your sources? Alex Jones?
Yeah.
Like, you need to stop reading the things at the check stand, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I loved that scene because they were both just like, you're an idiot. Like, where are you getting?
Really picked a guy who looked like Pope Francis too, which was really funny.
Yeah, he did. He did. That kind of threw me for a second. I'm like, wow. So did you have anything?
I did. So the Grail hired and killed Mark Harlick. That's how Mark came back up again.
Okay.
And I just thought it was really funny that they keep mentioning that actor and keep playing on that whole meta appearance of the actor as the actor, you know?
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Let's see. I said it before, but I liked Tulip's dream about the cowboy. Yeah. I really do think that she saw him underwater.
Do you think because he touched her, she has some sort of connection to him?
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably why she perceives that he's not truly gone.
Yeah.
I laughed when Jesse was going through the metal detector and finally Hairstar was like, do you have any piercings? And he kind of gestures at his chest. Yes. That was very funny.
That was.
Let's see, what else do I have? I had to laugh a little bit at Dennis and Cassidy because it kind of felt like Dennis is in vampire puberty right now.
Yeah, definitely. Cassidy was treating Dennis like a toddler with a new puppy. No, you have to be gentle with the hooker. Like, quit holding her like that. You're hurting her.
Well, you know, it was just like, I understand that your body is changing and all of these feelings are coming up. And I was like, oh my God, this is like someone with a hormonal teenager.
Yep.
I really liked that a lot.
That's funny.
I don't know that I've got a lot else. I did find some numbers. Did you find any numbers?
I did. What did you find?
So I came up with 113, 13, and 2 million.
Where did you come up with 113?
Hairstar says that Grail Industries is in 113 countries around the globe.
Oh, I missed that.
So
did they have any meaning?
Well, so Psalm 113 is praise the Lord, you, his servants, praise the name of the Lord. Which I thought, you know, with all of the imagery of Jesus and then the people who are serving Jesus as descendants, I thought that was an appropriate reference.
Mm-hmm.
Did you find anything? Oh, you didn't find 113.
No.
So what do you have?
25. Humperdew was Jesus' 25th grandson.
Oh, I can't believe I missed that.
And it's only because I have the printed out synopsis that I was able to. Yeah. So the thing that Proverbs 25, these are more Proverbs of Solomon compiled by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter. It is the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. So I don't know if that corresponds to our search for God, our search for the Messiah, the search, for, everyone seems to be searching for something,
Right. That's very
So,
true.
yeah, that's kind of what I came up with. The other two, Genesis 25 is about Abraham. That didn't really resonate much. Matthew 25 is the parable of the 10 virgins. That really didn't have much meaning to it or anything. The meaning of the number 25 in the Bible symbolizes grace upon grace. It is the compound of 20 meaning redemption and 5 meaning grace, or grace multiplied 5 by 5. The word becomes flesh, full of grace and truth, and his fullness we have received, and grace, for the laws of given those through Moses, but grace through came Jesus Christ. So
that was a mouthful.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. That was what I came up with 25. But so on Guitar Hero, they had the scores running.
Right. So I saw that. I didn't write it down.
Yeah. So Tulip, they had her score kind of at a running thing. She was at 2,965,000, and then the last three numbers were spinning constantly. So I didn't really focus on any of those. I actually didn't focus on her final score, which was 2,982,500. No, sorry. Is that 2 billion? 2,982,548,650. Yeah.
Dear heavens, she's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never played Guitar Hero, but that sounds like a really high score. But Laura Featherstone's, her score was 4,493, which is probably what I would get. So I looked that up, and let's see. So there's a website, Bible Hub, that translates the numbers into words. And I don't know if RIPE, RHIPE, and it's got the little thing over the E.
Huh. I don't know it.
Yeah. Let's see. A glance, twinkling, or flash of the eye, a rush of wind or flame, and any rapid movement. That's actually not the one I meant to focus on. I meant to focus on the when Tulip was playing. It was like 2,965,000, and then the rest of the numbers kept spinning. 2,965 is dog.
Okay.
Well, when they went to go visit Humperdew, that's what they were drawing. Well, that's what Humperdew was drawing, was dogs.
Oh.
Yeah. I saw what I thought was like a couple of birds, but in the synopsis it says that Jesse flips through his drawing book and sees a bunch of pictures of dogs. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know what the dogs will mean or do mean, or maybe I'm just overthinking this.
But we see the person in the dog costume get a repeat appearance again and again in the credits now.
Okay. You know? That is so funny you bring that up. I actually found those real people.
Ah!
I did. I need to post this. Where is it? The human Dalmatian who enjoys dog treats. In 2016, Tom from Hertfordshire visited ITV's This Morning under his preferred guise as a Dalmatian named Spot. Tom/Spot has spent more than $5,000 on a costume that allows him to live as a dog. When he is a dog model, he plays fetch, sleeps in a cage, and eats real dog treats. According to Tom, his desire is to be to be a dog isn't sexual. It is more to do with the turning off the part of your brain that worries about strictly human concerns like bills and deadlines. It means being able to escape from life and day-to-day business. It is a chance to unwind and clear the mind. We do it as children. Why not as adults?
Well, so when you think about it, Humperdinck kind of is
An eternal child.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about bills or deadlines.
Or as Herr Starr would call him, an imbecile.
Right.
I forget what the whole thing was. We had the one about him calling the and not using the R word, thankfully.
Puzzle piece. It was in Puzzle Piece.
Yeah, he imbecile something. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny you should bring the dog back up. But yeah, so those are the numbers that I had from the Bible, and a little background on Thaddeus.
Well, so Herr Starr said that he gave 13 years of his life to the Samson unit.
Oh, that's right.
So Judas was the 13th apostle. And Judas, I said Judith, didn't I? Judas. Yeah. Judith is in The Walking Dead, which obviously I'm waiting for The Walking Dead to come back. Judas, let's try that again, is the 13th apostle. And he's also the 13th person who is seated at the Last Supper. And according to one of the Bible websites that I went to, he is therefore intimately connected to the suffering of Jesus. And the number 13 is intimately connected to the suffering of Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
So I thought that was really interesting.
So now after 13 years of service to the industry, Herr Starr wants a new Messiah.
Right. And he's going to be intimately connected to Jesse's suffering.
Yeah.
Like right down to making him lose Tulip.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought was interesting is that you and I, when we first were talking about this series, we were like, Jesse Custer, JC, Jesus Christ, JC.
Yep.
So I thought that was really interesting. And if you look at just the numerology of the numbers J and C, guess what they add up to?
13?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
J is the 10th number in the alphabet, and C is the letter in the alphabet, and C is the third.
Wow.
So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then there was another thing. So Jesus in Mark chapter 7, verses 20 through 23 lists 13 things that defile a person: evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, and foolishness, which kind of sounds like our three heroes.
It also kind of sounds like Herr Starr.
Right.
That's funny.
And then the last thing, so I couldn't find any reference really for 2 million, but the number 2 is in the Bible a number of unity and division, union between woman and man, union between Christ and the church, but also that division that something can be split into two, or something is separated into two things and never is unified. So it's kind of both concepts.
Right.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, because that kind of reflects on Tulip and Cassidy and Tulip and Jesse. Right. And yeah.
Oh, so speaking of which, Tulip really doesn't think Jesse or Cassidy is handsome.
Yeah, I'm still very weirded out about them having been together. I don't know what that was on her part.
It was convenience.
I guess, but I mean, if she doesn't even find the guy attractive.
I don't think that matters to Tulip. I think it's convenience.
Was it just to hurt Jesse too?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know. So I had one more biblical thing. It wasn't numbers. So in the beginning of the show, when he admits to her that that she was Jesus's first,
right? And
he goes wandering to the window, and he's like, "I don't even know what kind of trees those are." And she says that they're olive trees. And, as we know, olives and olive branches have a large symbolism meaning in different cultures around the world.
Mm-hmm.
In the New Testament, the Mount of Olives east of Jerusalem is mentioned several times in the New Testament. The allegory of the olive tree in St. Paul's epistle. Yes, thank you. Of the Romans refer to a scattering and gathering of Israel. It compares the Israelites to the tame olive tree and the Gentiles to the wild olive branch. The olive tree itself is, as well as olive oil, plays an important point of the Bible. So the Mount of Olives is used as a Jewish cemetery for over 3,000 years and holds approximately 15,000 graves, making it a central traditional Jewish cemetery. Blah, blah, blah. Where is it? There was something in here about it being very, very near to where they believe Jesus was crucified.
Ah.
Yeah. Oh, the Acts of the Apostles. Let's see. I should have highlighted and put it all in one thing rather than screw around with a bunch of Wikipedia pages. Okay. So many Jews have wanted to be buried on the Mount of Olives since antiquity, based on the Jewish tradition from the Bible verse Zechariah 14:4, that when the Messiah comes, the resurrection of the dead will begin there. Yeah, I can't find where it is. There's something about the Acts of the Apostles. And since the Apostles made such a big appearance in the show, I thought it might be relevant. Yeah, I didn't have a lot of it. But it was funny that they had mentioned olives, and there's so much biblical reference to olives and olive trees and olive branches and olive groves. So yeah.
You're making me think of one of my favorite Dan Burns songs. I'm going to have to share it on the Preacher page on Facebook. I'm just going to say that olives feature prominently in that song. And so does Jesus, actually. Actually, the Messiah does. Not necessarily Jesus, but the Messiah does. So, yeah, I'll have to share it.
That's funny. That's funny. So, yeah, that's all I had for Bible study.
Well, we have 3 episodes left in the season.
We do.
And it does look like we are going back to hell.
Yay!
Yeah.
Looks like the next episode is called Back Doors.
And there's a moment where Hitler is saying to Eugene, there's back doors. So.
That's right. Oh, I'm so excited to go back to hell.
Yeah.
I thought hell would be a little worse than it seems to be. I thought it would be more like paper cuts on the eyeballs and Goliath bug larvae. Seriously, Google that. Goliath bug larvae. Those things are disgusting.
Okay, now I have to look. I have to look before we go. So, hell's not that bad. I think we kind of live it on Earth,
Yeah, there are some people who've got it worse up here.
Did you say Goliath bug larvae?
Yes.
Okay, that is really...
They're basically giant grubs.
There's one that is like the size of 2 palms.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. I thought hell would be paper cuts on eyeballs and bug larvae. That's my version of hell.
No, hell is just working every day and aging in a human body.
Yes. It's having pneumonia for 3 weeks while there's nice weather and you can't go enjoying it.
You have only yourself to blame. I've been telling you for days to go to a doctor. Weeks to go to a doctor. Better yet, to a nurse practitioner.
Too bad you didn't have Genesis to order me to do that.
Right? Oh, so there is one more thing. Why did Humperdew react to Genesis the way that he did?
I don't think that Genesis can have an commanding effect on him, but I think that he kind of recognizes the deity, the divineness of it.
It seemed like it was painful.
Well, I think it agitated him, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. That was interesting. I mean, I think, I don't know. I think that we may not be seeing the last of Humperdinck, but I don't know that for sure. Humperdew. See, now I'm doing it.
Yeah. I just watched The Princess Bride the other day, so I'm like...
that would explain it.
Yeah. It's like Miracle Max and his wife, and like she's running around going, Humperdinck, Humperdinck, Humperdinck.
Right? That's a great movie.
It is. It's the best. Our little Nickelodeon theater here is actually doing... They'll do it up on the screen. It's almost like a Rocky Horror type thing. They'll do it up on the screen, but then they have live actors playing it out in front of it.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe if I feel better enough, I will take in that.
Yeah, well, if you'd go get some care.
I've been praying.
Oh my God.
I'm awful. I'm going to hell.
Yeah, but you know that Eugene will be there, so...
Yep.
At least for a bit longer.
Yep. At least for a bit longer. Although he doesn't deserve to be.
And I think that's what's going to make it interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I think that was everything that I had. Do you have anything to add?
To the end of the world?
To the end of the world.
All right. Have a great week.
Let's go find Judas and those donkeys.
No kidding.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
I left his body in the woods, and I took off running south. I left his body